Welcome to the second episode of Decoding the Profiles in Power, powered by West Ferry Times, where we take a deep dive into the lives, careers, and legacies of the world's most influential political figures. Today, we're going to focus on someone whose political journey has been marked by both significant achievements and controversies. Priti Patel. She is one of the most prominent figures in British politics today, known for her strong stance on immigration, her rise to the position of Home Secretary, and her polarizing influence on national policy.
Priti Patel's story is fascinating, isn't it? From her humble beginnings as the daughter of immigrants to becoming one of the most powerful women in British politics, her trajectory has been shaped by ambition, controversy, and an unwavering determination to push through her vision for Britain's future. But her journey is far from simple. She's faced criticism for her tough stance on immigration, some harsh political battles, and of course the famous scandal that nearly cost her everything.
That's right. But despite everything, Priti Patel has managed to stay at the forefront of British politics. So let's take a look at how this political maverick came to be. Let's start with her background, education, and early career, because understanding where she came from is key to understanding the political force she is today.
Priti Patel was born on March 29, 1972, in London to Indian immigrant parents from Gujarat. Nimawat, her parents were part of the significant Indian diaspora that moved to Britain in the 1960s. Her father, Sushil Patel, was a keen entrepreneur who ran a chain of shops, while her mother, Anjana, was involved in various community activities. Priti grew up in a conservative, working-class environment.
That's a really important part of her background, isn't it? She was raised with strong values around hard work and personal responsibility. This was a formative experience for Patel. Her parents were firm believers in the power of education and self-improvement. They encouraged Priti to embrace the opportunities Britain had to offer, values that would deeply shape her views later in life.
Absolutely. Patel was a top student, excelling in her early education. She attended Watford Grammar School and then went on to Keele University, where she earned a degree in economics. After that, she furthered her education at the University of Essex, where she earned a master's degree in British government. Her academic background laid a solid foundation for her future political career.
Right, and this was a period in British history where emigration and national identity were highly debated issues. Priti was exposed to these discussions at an early age, especially growing up as a child of immigrants. It's interesting how her personal story and political views would later become so intertwined with these issues.
That's true. From her university years onwards, Patel's views began to take shape. She was drawn to conservative ideas, particularly those espoused by Margaret Thatcher, who championed free market policies, strong national defense, and limited government intervention. It wasn't long before Priti Patel got involved in political life.
After finishing her studies, Priti Patel entered the world of politics with the Conservative Party. She worked for a number of political campaigns and began to make a name for herself. In the late 1990s, she worked for Deloitte and the Conservative Party's press office. But it was in 2005, when she was elected as the Member of Parliament for Witham, a seat in Essex, that her political career truly took off.
And that election was a big deal. At the time, the Conservative Party was in opposition, and it was a pivotal moment for them. In her first years as an MP, Priti made a significant impact, standing out for her advocacy on economic and foreign policy issues. She quickly became known for her firm views on immigration and her commitment to promoting free market capitalism. Her career seemed to be on a fast track to success.
Exactly. But as we'll see, this rapid rise came with its challenges. Despite her hard work and determination, Patel faced criticism from within her own party. Early on, she was known for her fierce independent streak. She didn't always toe the party line, which sometimes got her into hot water. She was very vocal in her opposition to the European Union and immigration policies, which made her a target for more moderate voices within the party.
Yes, and that's one of the things that sets Priti Patel apart. She wasn't afraid to speak her mind, even if it meant ruffling feathers. And let's not forget, she became known for her connection with the grassroots conservative movement, often aligning herself with the more right-wing elements of the party. But all this only increased her popularity among certain sections of the British electorate.
Now, we move to one of the most defining moments in Priti Patel's career, her appointment as Home Secretary in 2016 by then Prime Minister Theresa May. This was the moment that truly solidified her position as a powerful figure in British politics.
Oh, absolutely. As Home Secretary, Patel was in charge of the country's national security, immigration policies, and law enforcement. And it was here that she really made her mark. One of her earliest actions was to call for a hardline approach to immigration, advocating for the reduction of net migration to the UK, a policy she had championed long before taking office.
And this was a significant shift. Under her leadership, the Home Office began implementing stricter immigration policies, including the controversial hostile environment policy, which aimed to make life harder for undocumented immigrants. The policy was meant to encourage illegal immigrants to leave the UK voluntarily, but it faced intense criticism for its negative impact on legal migrants and vulnerable communities.
That's right, and of course the backlash came quickly. Many felt that Patel's stance was too harsh, and that it marginalized minority communities. The public perception of her during this time became divisive, with many accusing her of pursuing an agenda that was more punitive than compassionate. Despite the controversy, Patel remained steadfast in her policies, demonstrating the same resilience and determination she had shown throughout her career.
And of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. Priti Patel's political career has also been marred by several controversies and scandals. One of the most notable occurred in 2017, when she was forced to resign from her position as Secretary of State for International Development after it was revealed that she had held unauthorized meetings with Israeli officials during a personal holiday.
Yes, that was a major scandal. The meetings raised questions about whether Patel had breached diplomatic protocol and whether her actions compromised the integrity of her position. Despite her apology and the fact that she returned to the conservative ranks shortly after, many critics felt that this was a breach of trust.
Right. And despite this setback, Patel's political ambitions never faltered. She was soon reappointed to a high-level position within the government, this time as Home Secretary under Boris Johnson in 2019. Her reappointment was seen as a strong statement of her political resilience and a testament to her unwavering commitment to her vision of a tougher immigration system.
Priti Patel's second tenure as Home Secretary came during a time of crisis, including the COVID-19 pandemic and rising tensions over national security. Her role in leading the government's response to these challenges showed another side of her leadership. She pushed for stronger border security measures and played a crucial role in shaping the government's lockdown policies.
It's been said that the pandemic tested every leader, and Priti Patel was no exception. She faced criticism for her handling of the initial border policies and for the delay in imposing quarantine restrictions. But Patel remained a vocal supporter of strict measures, even when they proved unpopular.
Yes, and we saw the emergence of Priti as a more forceful leader during this period. Her rhetoric became increasingly focused on national security, which led to tougher stances on immigration and refugee policies. It was during this period that she pushed for the controversial Stop the Boats campaign, which aimed to prevent migrants from crossing the English Channel illegally.
As we look at Priti Patel's legacy, we see a politician who has been fiercely committed to her principles, even when they were unpopular. Her legacy will certainly be tied to her immigration policies, which have shaped the UK's national debate for years. But the question remains, how will history remember her?
That's the million-dollar question. Some will see her as a hero who fought to protect Britain's borders and push for policies that prioritize the nation's safety and sovereignty. Others, however, will view her as a divisive figure whose policies hurt vulnerable communities and inflamed national divisions.
Well, that's all for today's second episode of Decoding the Profiles in Power. Priti Patel's career has been defined by a combination of ambition, resilience, controversy, and unwavering determination. Whether you love her or hate her, it's impossible to deny the impact she's had on British politics.
Exactly. Priti Patel's journey from the daughter of immigrants to one of the most powerful political figures in Britain is a testament to the power of ambition and conviction. Whatever the future holds for her, her influence will continue to resonate in the years to come.
So thanks for listening. Be sure to join us next time as we dive deeper into the stories that shaped our world. Until then, stay curious and take care.
Absolutely. And don't forget to stay tuned with West Ferry Times. If you enjoyed this episode, hit that subscribe button on our YouTube channel and share it with your friends and family. Let's keep the conversation going.